Guys, we have some important crypto news. We wanted Patrick McHenry to be Speaker of the House, but because the Republican caucus is such in disarray, he threatened to rage quit if we promoted him to interim Speaker. And also, the caucus did not support Patrick McHenry because they wanted to elect a real Speaker. Well, we know that Jim Jordan's bid failed spectacularly today because each vote he actually got more people that were against him. And there are other frontrunners for the role of Speaker of the House. If we couldn't get Patrick McHenry, we could actually might get someone better in Tom Emmer. And he is actually saying that he wants to make a run for House Speaker. So this could definitely be a huge, huge break for crypto. Tom Emmer, for those of you that don't know, is the co-chair of the Congressional Blockchain Caucus. He's from Minnesota 6, and he's actually sponsored bills for crypto clarity. Now, I don't know if those bills got passed because there was a lot of resistance to crypto then, but, the thing is, he's always been pro-crypto. He's grilled Gary Gensler, so he would be a staunch crypto advocate, just like Patrick McHenry, and maybe even more pro-crypto than Patrick McHenry. And this is not an interim position. This would actually be running for the real speakership position. And this guy actually does have a chance to win. So today, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, this is from March 23rd, introduced the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, which affirms that blockchain developers and service providers that do not custody customer funds are not money transmitters, so they don't actually have to report. So he does things like that. He actually does things like that really would help the crypto market. He's trying to loosen some regulations and let crypto operate as a free industry. And of course, on Coinbase, Emmer's made a lot of statements on crypto, like, the crypto community will build with or without us. Congress's job is to develop common sense, innovation forward regulations so opportunities stay here at home and Americans can adopt this technology with confidence. So basically, he's also saying crypto has been really a big help to Ukraine. Crypto donations to Ukraine have totaled almost 100 million. And this is to obviously counter Russia's using crypto to launder money. I think at that time at least, in March 24th, 2022, most people were obviously still pro-Ukraine. And he's basically saying, hey, crypto does have a purpose in those donations too. So the thing is, he said a lot of pro-crypto things, trying to get people to be more pro-crypto. And I think he would be a great, great speaker for the crypto community. And like I said, he has a good chance of winning because he might be able to pull Democratic support just in case the MAGAs don't vote for him. Because I don't think Tom Emmer is of the MAGA caucus, so they might not actually vote for him. Just like how they didn't want Scalise or McCarthy, they might not want Emmer because they want someone from their caucus. And also, they might not vote for him because Donald freaking Trump does not support Tom Emmer for speaker. Why? Because he is not an election denier. And Donald Trump desperately wants an election denier to be Speaker of the House. Trump actually came out today and said he does not support Tom Emmer for Speaker. He didn't say the reason, but we can guess he's not an election denier, so he can't support him. Because he supported Jim Jordan because he is indeed an election denier. So Tom Emmer does actually have the prerequisites of actually doing a bipartisan coalition, just in case, those 8 MAGA people decide not to vote for Tom Emmer, because the Democrats' demands for a speaker that they could possibly support and cut a deal with are, you can't be an election denier, and you have to promise that if the majority of Congress wants to debate or bring a bill to the floor, you have to bring the bill to the floor. So you can't hold bills hostage just because you personally don't like them, or the 8 people of your party don't like him. If it has majority support from Congress, you have to bring it to the floor. That does not mean you have to pass it. It just means that it has to be brought on the floor to be debated and voted. So those are the 2 requirements. I think Tom Emmer does fit that because he's not an election denier. He did vote to certify all the states. And I do think he is a fair man. So if the majority of Congress wants a bill to be brought to the floor, he will bring it to the floor as speaker. So he is more of a moderate Republican, but he's a moderate Republican that is very, very pro-crypto. And I think he will give Gary Gensler one hell of a time if he actually gets in. Now, I don't really know what kind of negotiations or what kind of compromises he would have to make with the Democrats if he cannot get the MAGA party on board, because we all know Donald Trump basically has the MAGA faction by the balls, and he can basically make them do anything he wants. So if he doesn't support Tom Emmer, then Tom Emmer may not have the votes from the GOP side, because he's going to be like raging mad if he doesn't support Tom Emmer and like, the MAGA party actually ends up voting for Tom Emmer. He might disown them, which would kind of be like their worst nightmare. So Emmer actually might need Democratic support, and I do think he can get it. He can build a strong bipartisan coalition where he's not going to be held hostage to like 8 people in Congress. And this, like I said, would be very, very nice for crypto indeed. I think Emmer is probably like the biggest blockchain advocate. I think he's even a bigger blockchain and crypto advocate than Patrick McHenry, and he does a very good job grilling anti-crypto constituents. And with him being Speaker of the House, he could actually block a lot of like Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto antics. So if he comes up to a vote, you should tell your representative to actually vote for Tom Emmer, regardless if he's Republican or Democrat. He is someone I can get behind because he is very pro-crypto, and when you're very pro-crypto, my bar for you for congressman, for speaker becomes quite a bit lower. I mean, yes, I don't want you to be an election denier, and I do want you to bring certain bills to the floor if they have majority support. So I am fine with Tom Emmer. I am fully supportive of Emmer being Speaker of the House, even though he's not from the party I prefer. But I do believe he is a great person for this job, mainly because he is a crypto advocate. And he's a lot better than the other candidates like Jim Jordan or Byron Donalds to me. And he should be a much better advocate for speaker to everyone in crypto than Jim Jordan, Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise, or Byron Donalds. So this could actually end up being very, very good for crypto, all this chaos. I think it's going to take at least a couple more weeks to kind of like edge everything out, because obviously none of the Republicans want to have to depend on Democratic support, because then they have to actually give concessions. But the thing is, like, for any of these moderate Republicans or more moderate Republicans like Emmer, if they actually want to be Speaker of the House, they will probably have to go across the aisle, because if you're not an election denier, then the MAGA faction may not vote for you, and they'll vote for people that are election deniers but may not be supportive to crypto. So this is actually where we're at right now, and I hope he actually makes a run for Speaker of the House, because this is someone I can get behind regardless if he's from the opposite party. I'm not actually registered as a Republican or Democrat, so I actually don't really care all that much. But this is actually a really good crypto advocate that I don't think is like crazy and insane, and I do believe he would represent us well as Speaker of the House. Now, other news is that for those of you that are looking for a job, Coinbase has actually launched an 8-week training course for blockchain developers. It's called Bootcamp, and they'll offer students weekly meetings with a mentor, a dedicated Discord server, and access to Coinbase and Base engineers. So you could possibly brush up on your Coinbase L2 writing skills and perhaps get a high-paying job with a blockchain company. I hear those jobs are paying over $100K, and that is not a bad salary, especially if you haven't had formal education. I don't think they will require formal education if you actually pass this course or pass a test or something. So the 8-week training course, definitely something you want to look at if you want to write on layer 2, if you want to write for Coinbase's Base. And I do think Coinbase's Base will actually be a very, very big layer 2 in the future, because obviously Coinbase is huge. And even though they don't have a coin themselves, there's a lot of projects building on Coinbase. The TVL is actually going up on Coinbase, so I expect them to continue growing. It's called Bootcamp. The new program doesn't cost anything to attend. However, it's designed for mid to senior level software engineering individual contributors. So maybe not completely for newbies. If you want to take this, you should probably brush up on a little bit of programming first and get your feet wet, and then go through this boot camp. And the students must fill out an application and be accepted to enroll. Of course, less than 20 students will be accepted into each cohort, and they will start accepting applications on October 27th. So for those of you that are actually actively developing on Base, and you want to up your skills, maybe get a better job, or have more potential for the future, this is definitely something to look at. And they're on Twitter as well, introducing Base Bootcamp, an 8-week program designed to turn experienced developers into smart contract developers. Base Bootcamp will make learning interactive and collaborative with support from experienced engineers and dedicated mentors. So check that out on Coinbase. So they're saying today there's fewer than 30,000 on-chain developers compared to nearly 30 million software developers. So there's a big, big pool for Coinbase and other projects to draw from. Obviously, if they have this Base Bootcamp and a lot of people come into Base Bootcamp, they will know how to develop with Coinbase, and Coinbase can get a lead in the talent department of blockchain, which sometimes is the main difference for success or failure for a project. So very, very cool project. You should check it out. It could actually up your career prospects. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.